Hey guys, Tyler and Andrew here with Samson Pro. Last fall we told you that we were going to get you some more training videos, spend some time on the range, whether it be combat or self-defense focused shooting techniques. But we're going to start off this year by giving you some of those videos and giving you a couple drills that you guys can do at home to work on your skills, like we said, both for competition and for self-defense applications. Alright guys, so the first drill we're going to talk about today is one that we call the 10-10-10 drill. Can't tell you who first did it. I've seen a lot of instructors do different variations of it for different reasons, different yardages, etc., etc. We call it the 10-10-10 drill because it's 10 rounds at 10 yards inside of a 10-inch circle. And the reason that we do this drill is to show some of our students the performance benefits they can get by improving their stance, grip, weapons manipulation, etc. under recoil, and for time if you want to add a challenge to it, which we'll talk about at the end. But Andrew's going to demonstrate this in a second, and the first time he runs through the drill, he's going to do this with what we call a traditional shooting stance, traditional marksmanship style shooting stance. It's going to be with a long stock, or if it were with a M16A1 type rifle or A2 type rifle with a long fixed stock. We tend to see shooters with a bladed stance, with a hand close to the body supporting the weapon underneath, the stock riding high in the pocket of the shoulder, and a high cheek weld. And that's more of a traditional style of shooting that you'll see, and he's going to try to put 10 rounds as fast as he can at 10 yards inside of a 10-inch circle. And we're going to measure his effectiveness, and then we're going to modify the stance to a more modern style of shooting that you see in competition and combat applications today, and see what kind of improvement benefits we can get. Shooter ready. Yep. Stand by. Threat! So guys, we'll see if we can put this in slow motion for you as well so you can kind of see. But basically what we see with a more traditional marksmanship style stance is that with the rifle high in the pocket of the shoulder and a bladed stance to the target, we see energy transfer happening here and being absorbed in the shoulders and the hips, and that energy transfer getting thrown up and over the shoulder. It leads to more muzzle climb, and it leads to a greater time in between shot placement as you reacquire that sight picture to break your next shot. All right, so you can see he's got those 10 rounds here in the ring. Only problem being we saw quite a bit of variation vertically in his shot placement, and that's most likely due to the fact that this weapon is recoiling up and he's not employing some of those techniques we talked about to keep the muzzle of the weapon down and direct and towards the target under recoil. We're going to show you a more modified modern stance and see what kind of performance benefits we get. Okay, so we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time. The focus is on the drill, but I'm going to go through the basic aspects of how we're going to change his stance, and we can do another video in depth on stance and weapons manipulation later. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask the shooter to stand facing the target. Okay, this squares off his body to the target, and it becomes more consistent between his weapons platforms, rifle, shotgun, and handgun. We're going to ask him to move his feet forward. If he's a right-handed shooter, he might have his right foot back just slightly, but shoulders are going to be square to the target. The next thing we're going to do is ask him to adopt what I call an athletic stance. So he's going to get a little bit of flex in the power angles. He's going to develop a little bit of flexion in the ankles, knees, and hips. And he's going to give himself a little bit of forward body lean so that his weight is centered over his toes. Next, we're going to have him shorten his stock down just slightly because we're going to bring the weapon into the chest more and away from high in the shoulder pocket. We're going to have him take his non-dominant hand and reach out farther onto the rail so we can almost lock that left elbow into a position and turn the elbow outboard just slightly. When he brings the weapon up, we're going to have him bring the weapon up, keeping that athletic stance with a forward body lean. Notice that his shoulders are staying square to the target, his hands reaching out a little farther, and this thumb is wrapped over the top. Same way you would be doing it non-dominant hand with a handgun. And the reason for that is if we can lock that thumb forward, it's going to help us with muzzle climb. And now that we have a rigid structure with good forward body lean towards the target, we're going to be able to deal with that recoil a little bit better, improved recoil mitigation techniques. So as we combine all these aspects, watch as he shoots the next string of 10 rounds and see that he's probably going to be able to put more rounds on target faster and more efficiently as he adopts some of these principles. Shooter ready. Stand by. Threat! All right, so as you guys can see, we didn't change plates between the drills. But you can see that we're having a lot more shots concentrated here in the center of the plate, which tells me he's doing better keeping that muzzle down with those techniques that we talked about and keeping it on target between shots. And his cone of deviation, you could see how much faster he was able to run the gun and keep a tighter group. We went from, you know, a 10 or 11 inch circle, and we brought that down to maybe a 5-inch circle by employing some of those techniques that we talked about.
All right, guys, so you notice definitely a much better, faster, tighter group with the different style of shooting. You guys can take this up a step by implementing a shot clock, which is actually it's actually really important to scale yourself as you progress skill-wise. Another thing while you're doing this, you need to notice and focus on your stance, your square hips, and your arm. The arm's very important as far as controlling that muzzle rise every time you pull that trigger. Something else that you guys need to pay attention to is that you're not moving your arm to pull that trigger, that you're nice and smooth on the trigger finger, and that's it. So there's, like I say, a couple different ways that you can step up this game a little bit, but this is the baseline to give you guys a nice solid foundation on where to take it.
If you guys noticed in the video, Andrew's rocking one of our new Samson Ram T1 bases. If you guys follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, you know that we're doing a 20,000 like giveaway on our Facebook page. I think we only have, what, 1,500 likes, or just shy of 1,500 likes left to go on that giveaway. All you guys have to do is make sure that you've liked our page, and then please like and share the post on the 20,000 like giveaway. And that is all you have to do to enter yourself for a chance to win a Samson Ram T1 base and a little gift basket of Samson swag.
Don't forget to like it.
That's right.